In the first unit, we have seen how Vasakov, a former student, comes back to his school 18 years after he leaves just to demand his tuition fees back. The argument given for demanding the fees back is that he is not educated as his certificate says. When the principal tells him very clearly it cannot be done, he says he will never leave the chamber until he has paid his tuition fees. So the principal, trying to gain time, trying to buy time, he asks him, Mr. Vasako, please tell me what makes you think that you can't do anything. Why do you tell me that you are useless? What makes you think that you are useless? Vasakov, in reply, he says, everybody thinks that I'm useless, I'm unfit, I'm uneducated. If I get a job, I can't keep it for a long time. Vasakov asked the principal to conduct an exam to find out how much he knows. He says, ask your masters to come in, let them interview me or let them test me, let them examine me, then they'll know how educated I am, how bad I am, how unfit I am. The principal wonders what a distressing, painful, terrible business it is. What is a distressing business here? A student coming back to the school so many years later and demanding the tuition fees back. It is distressing. How unfortunate. It is unfortunate a student comes back to school demanding an exam to be conducted. So principal asks him, do you really want to take another examination? Are you really in a mood to take another examination? Usually students are scared of taking examination. And this former student comes back 18 years after he gets his certificate and asks the principal to conduct another examination. So the principal asks him whether he is serious or whether he is joking. Vasakov, yes, I have the right to take one. No doubt, I'm not joking. I have got the right to take one more exam. Principal, oh, what a strange case. What an unusual case. He scratches his head because he doesn't know what he should do and then says, I have never heard of anything like this before. This is the first time I have encountered a situation like this. What is the situation? A student coming back, a former student coming back to school demanding tuition fees. And he says it is very strange, it is unprecedented. Oh, this is the first time such a thing has happened. I shall have to consult the staff. Finally, the principal tells the student, Mr. Vasakov, I'll have to consult my staff. I shall have to call a conference meeting. I'll call a staff meeting. Will you wait in the waiting room and give me a few minutes? Let me talk to the staff. Vasakov, now he gets up. Till now, he has been sitting in the chamber. So when the principal asks him to wait in the chamber, in the waiting room, he gets up and tells the principal, yes, be very quick, okay? I have no time to waste. Please do it. Have your meeting very, very quickly. I have got no time to waste. Seeing this, he goes out and saunters out, walks around or wanders around in a leisurely fashion. The principal rings a bell, the servant enters, and the principal tells him, ask the staff to come here at once, a most extraordinary conference meeting. So tell every staff member, tell every teacher that there is an extraordinary meeting to be held in the chamber. Ask them to come in. The servant, yes sir, he goes out. The principal, trying out his speech, so before the teachers enter, the principal starts rehearsing his speech. He begins, gentlemen, he addresses the teachers here. I have asked you to come here on account of a most unusual state of affairs. Dear teachers, dear colleagues, I have asked you to come here because an unprecedented and unusual thing has happened. It is unprecedented. This is the first time that it has happened. In the 30 years that I have been a schoolmaster, I have never heard of anything like it. I've been a teacher for the last 30 years. I have never faced this kind of a terrible, distressing situation. This is the first time. Never, so long as I live, shall I expect to hear of anything like it again. Now, the principle also says that I don't think in the future I will face this kind of a situation again. So, what is the principle trying to say? The principle is trying to say that so far he has never experienced such a thing and he doesn't hope to come across a similar situation in the years to come. So it is so strange. The situation is very, very strange, unusual. Never, God forbid. God forbid, that means hope such a thing will never happen in the future. The masters enter. So while he is rehearsing his speech, the teachers enter. How do the teachers look like? They are characteristic figures whose eccentricities are exaggerated. Eccentricities are oddities. The strange qualities of the teachers are exaggerated. So when you see a maths teacher, he looks exactly like a maths teacher. When you see a physics teacher, he looks exactly like a physics teacher. How does it happen? It happens because their eccentricities are exaggerated. And he addresses the teachers, gentlemen, I have asked you to come here on account of a most unusual state of affairs. Sit down, gentlemen. I shall begin the meeting. I shall open the conference. It is unprecedented. It is incredible, unbelievable, fantastic. A former student has just come to see me, an individual named Wasakov. He brought up a question which I have never encountered in my many years of experience. So he tells the teachers that for the first time in his career life, he has encountered a strange, unusual situation. What is the situation? A former student has come back to school demanding his tuition fees back. He brought up a question which I have never encountered in my many years of experience. What is the question? Demanding the tuition fees back, saying that he is not educated. He explodes, he talks loudly, he loses his self-control and talks loudly. He roars, saying, I have never heard of anything like that. This is the first time such a thing has happened. Then the maths teacher, okay, tell us about it. What is it? What is the case? Why? Principal. Because he has lost his job. Now the maths teacher asks, why does he want his tuition fee back? The principal says he is demanding his tuition fees back because he has lost his job. And he says he is broke. Financially, he is broke. That means he says he has become a pauper. He has become bankrupt. So he wants his money back. Because he is because he is incompetent, he is useless. So these are the reasons given by Wasakov. First one, he has lost his job. So he wants a tuition fees back. Second reason, he is financially broke. He has become bankrupt. And third one, he is quite useless as a donkey. I should be glad to have you express your views on this unparalleled case. Unparalleled, which has no parallel, which has no comparison. And he says, I should be very happy to receive your comments on this strange, unusual, unprecedented, unparalleled case. The physics master says, gentlemen, the case is natural. Now the physics teacher begins speaking, and what does he say? Oh, this case is natural. The law of conservation of energy proves that any given student will lose in any given period as much knowledge as a teacher can give him, drill into his head in another period of duration. So how does a physics teacher comment on what is happening. The physics teacher speaks exactly like a physics teacher, and he talks about the laws of conservation of energy which he teaches in the subject of physics. So he is speaking about physics itself, and he says the law of conservation of energy proves that any given student will lose as much knowledge as he gains in another period of duration. Suppose a student learns something today, taking 6 months, after so many years later, in 6 months period duration, he will lose what he learns in the past. So it is a law of science, it's a law of physics. See, what's this? Then history teacher, just like the physics teacher, history teacher talks about history, physics teacher talks about physics, and history teacher relates what is happening to history. And he says, come on, there is nothing like it in the history of civilization, because history teacher deals with civilization, history of civilization. So he says, I have never come across such a case in the history of civilization. They said that the Bourbons learned nothing and forgot nothing, if that is true. What the physics teachers say? The physics teacher has said that the law of conservation of energy says that what is gained will be lost later. But history teacher contradicts him by saying that in the history of civilization there is nothing like that. It is said that there was a dynasty called Bourbons which ruled in Spain. It is said that Bourbons, the dynasty, people who belonged to the great dynasty, learned nothing and forgot nothing. So he is trying to tell the physics teacher that he is wrong. Then the physics teacher says, oh, come on, the law of conservation of energy. He argues with the history teacher by saying that what he said is right. So the two of them argue. Then the math teacher intervenes, saying that does he want the amount with simple or compound interest? Now the math teacher pitches in by asking a question whether the student wants his tuition fees back with simple interest or compound interest. So he speaks exactly like a math teacher. Geography teacher joins the conversation by asking, where is this fellow? A geography teacher naturally will ask this question, where is it? If you talk about a country, if you talk about a place, a geography teacher is bound to ask, where is that place? Where is it? So he's asking the question, where is that fellow anyhow? The principal says, he is waiting outside. He wants to be re-examined. He says he learned nothing. So the principal says he is waiting in the waiting room. I have asked him to wait there. He wants to be re-examined. He wants to face an exam again. He says he learned nothing. He says re-examination will prove how bad he is. I would like to know what you gentlemen think about it. This student comes back after 18 years and he is demanding an exam to be conducted to test his real knowledge. Master teacher, chuckling, laughing to himself, and he said, re-examination? Gentlemen, it is my conviction, belief that we will lose nothing by re-examining Wasakov. Math teacher naturally is very intelligent, very shrewd, and he tells everybody, gentlemen, in my opinion, we are not going to lose anything by conducting a re-examination. That can easily be done. If he fails, he will place us in an awkward position. Suppose in the re-examination, if the student fails, then we will be in an awkward position, embarrassing position. Therefore, we must not fail him. It is very, very easy for us to pass him. So if he fails, he will succeed, we will lose. So we should see that he gets pass marks. He has, shall I say, pursued, the student has pursued, carried on, advanced studies in the school of life. 18 years ago he left this school. So later, since then, he has been studying, he has been pursuing higher studies, advanced higher studies in the school of life. He was at school for nearly 10 years. After that, he has been learning from the school of life. So naturally, he will have become intelligent. We will not make our questions too difficult. So what is our strategy? We should see that he passes. So we won't make our questions difficult. Agreed, gentlemen? We are dealing with a very sly, cunning, crafty, clever individual who will try to defeat us, who will try to get the better of us. So we are dealing, gentlemen, the master teacher tells everybody, gentlemen, we are dealing with a very cunning, very clever individual who will try to defeat us, and he will try to get his money back by hook or crook. So we must checkmate him as if we were playing a game of chess with him. So we must spoil his designs, thwart his plans. Now physics master say, how do we do that? Master teacher, by sticking together. We must support one another. There are so many teachers here. We should support one another. The object is to prevent him from failing. So what is the object? Object, purpose. What is our object? Our object is to prevent him from failing, because if he fails, he succeeds. If he fails, then he'll try to get his money back. Then he'll succeed. So our object is to pass him. If he passes, he fails. If he fails, he passes. That we must stop. What should we stop? We must stop him from failing. If he fails, tomorrow there will be 2 more students. Suppose Vasakov today fails in the exam and gets his money back, tuition fees back. Tomorrow, 2 more students will come back to the school demanding their fees. The next day, there will be a dozen, and it will go on like that. One day, we'll have to close down the school. We must support each other, gentlemen, so that this painful affair doesn't become a pedagogical here, academic scandal. So if so many students keep coming back to the school to get their tuition fees back, it will become a scandal, it will become a gossip related to academics, related to teaching. We should never allow that to happen.